always friends. You made it back. It's science time. So let's begin. What keeps plants safe? Well, why do plants have to be kept safe? Everything in the natural world develops mechanisms to keep itself safe to increase its chances of survival. All living things struggle environments to survive. Even plants have grown and changed over time and have developed ways to keep themselves safe from predators. What do plants develop to keep them safe? Well, a variety of things. Have you ever taken a walk and rubbed against the plant who had very itchy leaves? Some plants developed a fine irritating here when their leaves that true for squashes, pumpkins, cucumbers, their leaves as they're developing grow this fine irritating hairs that many people and animals alike. I can't stand so they stay away. Other plants have developed thorns now. As beautiful as roses are, we won't just go flop thrust backwards into a rose bush because we have experience with roses that teach us that they are not the most comfortable things to rub against. Those thorns are there to protect them. You have to understand that we're not the only one who can enjoy a flower-spotted plants and a dam of other animals and other plants do too. So they allow themselves to have space to grow and allow themselves to mature. They also have defense mechanisms in the form of thorns. Okay, so we talked about those irritating hairs on some leaves. We've talked about thorns. Well, there's also thistles. Thistles, like thorns, are pocky and prickly, and they hurt. They are a lot finer and needle-like, but they're very uncomfortable. And just like the ones, many animals and people avoid thistles because of those spines. The eye kind of like porcupine quills. So we talked about thorns and thistles, and those irritating hairs on leaves and some plants. Now let's talk about plants other than roses that have those defense mechanisms. There's a plant called the thistle plant. You may see it grow in your garden. They can grow very tall and when they bloom, they have a very round purple flower. Often purple. I've never seen one of another color. But I'm not going to say that is impossible. But they tend to have a very round purple flower on top, and we want to pull them as soon as we see them. It's very growing in our. But I'm not going to say that is impossible, but they tend to have a very round people flower on top, and we want to pull them as soon as we see them in where growing in our garden because well they're things that we desire in gardens and things that we don't and thistles are usually on the don't list. We'll see a vessel and try to pull it to moment you grab it. Oh, you wish you hadn't because those spines will come off the in the palm of your hands, in your skin, and they're very irritating. You'll have to wash, and sometimes washing alone won't get rid of the irritation. So we have thistles and roses and cacti. Now you could say cactus, but then and sometimes washing alone won't get rid of the irritation. So we have thistles and roses and cacti. Now you could say cactus, but then if you mean more than one, you can say you say cacti. Cacti also have thorns, and that are they protecting themselves from? Well, many in that type of plant grow a delicious fruit growing out when we were little. We could even eat that fruit. It's called a prickly pear and it's so yummy. It's flesh. It's flesh called a prickly pear and it's so yummy. It's fresh, it's so tender and it's very juicy now. Cacti grow where it's very dry and that's not very much water. So of course you'll have animals just trampling that plant to get to its fruit. Well, like we just discussed, everything in the physical world struggles to survive. So that those pines, those thorns, those kind of like we said spines, I guess, would be the best. Those thorns would be the best word for it. Keep animals and people alike away from destroying the plant. So thorns, thistles it, she hears, oh, I forgot you, and they're not gonna believe this one because you'll think about it. Yeah, they are not the only ones who use camouflage. They're awesome plants that use camouflage. Camouflage doesn't cause itching and irritation. What it does is fly under the radar stone plants, also known as leaf-ups, are plants that use camouflage. They usually just look like stones, so animals can't tell that they're plants, and they won't eat him. What do you want to eat a stone? Neither do animals. So when the plants look like stones, animals go look out. Swear the only time that stone plants look kind of like plants is when they flower. Those beautiful flowers give him away, but not for long, because we know what happens to flowers. They bloom and they die, so the leafed ups or the stones plants just go back to looking like stones again. Just another day in the life of the stone plant, the camouflage. Just another day in the life of a stone plant, the camouflage causes animals and people not to notice that particular plant. So again, the one thistles is she. Here's camouflage. Those are ways that plants keep themselves safe.